welcome back to my channel, Heaven's Audventure. And yes, I'm aware that my channel name, Heaven's Audventure, no longer makes sense because it initially meant auditor and adventure, but we're gonna stick with it. It's my brand, so forgive me for that part. And yes, I quit my job as a state auditor for the state of Tennessee. I know, super shocking, super surprising. I'm also surprised and shocked myself, but let me explain what's going on here, why I decided to change jobs. I know you guys are probably wondering if you've stuck around for a while. If you're new here, then welcome to this kind of video. My name's Heaven, I'm a certified public accountant, have been for 5 years this June. Yeah, 5 years. I've been a CPA. That's crazy. If you're studying for the CPA exam or you're considering trying to get your CPA license and you're not feeling encouraged, just go back to my channel like 4+ years ago. You'll find all the exams that I failed and how much I struggled, but I made it through and passed, and if I can do it, you can do it. So there's my encouragement for you. Just go back on my channel. I do have notes for this video so I can stay on track and on topic. Yeah, as you guys know, I love my job at the comptroller's office working for the state of Tennessee. It's been amazing, and I still highly recommend that as the entry-level job coming out of college, just kickstarting your accounting career, because as an auditor, you have such a high-level approach of the financial statements. Let me back up. As a financial auditor, there's all kinds of different auditors. I'm a financial auditor, so that's really my only perspective I can speak on. But as a financial auditor, coming in and just seeing how the financial statements, correlate together, how they get produced and created coming from the ledger, how it all ties, how revenue and receivables have a relationship, how contra accounts work, everything you learn in school, you can see it at a high level as an auditor. So that's why I just feel like it's such a good way to start your career off, because you're seeing all the aspects of an entity when you're auditing them. If you guys have followed along for a while, then you know I do love my job at the comptroller's office. I was heavily involved in the recruitment team. I still wish I could do the recruiting for them, because I still think it's a great place to work when you come out of college. I got to speak at many lecture halls at different colleges talking to accounting students. I got to do YouTube videos for the YouTube channel. I was on the conference planning committee where I got to, help plan out the conferences that we do. I got to create flyers and use my creative outlet there. And this year I got a unique opportunity to actually draft 4 episodes of this video series that we were doing for one of our training events. And that was just super cool. And there's a lot of aspects outside of just the accounting that I got to do at the comptroller's office that I had to walk away from to take this job. So it was not an easy decision. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. This was very difficult. I was not looking for a new job. I haven't looked at my resume in like 7 years. But at the end of the last financial audit at my client, and it's a really large client, it's one of the largest in Tennessee. They're actually a separate component unit of the state of Tennessee for the ACFR. They have 5 campuses underneath system level umbrella. They have 3 foundations, and that's a client I've been on every fall. So I learned a lot through the audit side of things. Again, I saw more of a high level approach and just saw how things all tied together. I've been on the audit the last 6 years, but the last 4 years is when I've been doing their investments. So I'm now hired as an assistant controller, mostly working with their investments. And now that I've taken a job on the inside, I'm really excited just to see the inner workings of how things get created. And now that we're up on year end, tomorrow is the last day of a fiscal year, so now we're gonna start our year end duties for the next couple months. It'll be really cool to see how all the reports and the financial statements get created and put together, and I'm gonna be helping with that. So I'm super excited for what's to come in the next few months. It is gonna be a big challenge. So if you're wanting to hear the tea, or if you're wanting me to spill about how the comptroller's office was like a toxic workplace, that's not gonna happen, because I have nothing ill to say. I really respect the leadership of the comptroller's office, and the comptroller himself, I love him. He's fantastic. He's such a cool dude, so humble, so family oriented. I have nothing negative to say about COT, okay? Fantastic workplace. It was a big decision for me to leave. When I was really evaluating my current life situation and where I was, I had come to the realization that the last about 2 years at the comptroller's office, I was just kind of in a rhythm. I kind of had mastered my job for the most part. There wasn't a lot of new things I was having to overcome or learn. And we do have new GASB implementations every single year. This last year I had to figure out the leases, GASB 87. There are new things to do. I don't want to make it sound like I was literally doing the same thing every day, because I wasn't. But I was just in this rotation. I was on the same audit clients season after season. I mastered my job for the most part. I was able to still be under budget in all my sections, but still be mentally checked out a little bit. So I think there's pros and cons of really mastering a job. You're just comfortable with it. You know what to expect. You know when you can take a leave. The office politics. There's a lot of just comfort that comes with staying somewhere for a long period of time. And when you're new, although you get new exciting challenges and new opportunities, you have to improve yourself from day one. You're having to figure out what's allowed or not allowed. How do these people take lunch breaks? How is leave used? Like, is everyone allowed to just take off on a Friday, or does someone have to stay back and work? And the office politics, who to trust, who's the gossiper? There's just a lot of just like when you're new, it's just a lot on your brain is all. So after I did some self-analysis, I realized I think it is time for me to take on a new challenge. It just came at a good time. So as far as my new position as assistant controller for this client, which is now my employer, they're not my client, even though I keep saying client. I needed to pause because I meant to mention the hierarchy that we have. You have a controller at the top, and then you have, I think, 3 associate controllers, and then there's a couple of assistant controllers underneath them. So I'm an assistant controller, and funny enough, one of my first in-charges I had at State Audit that I worked really well with, she taught me everything I knew. She's a really great auditor. She left to work at this client about 5-ish years ago, and I've missed her ever since, and now I get to be on her team again and work for her again, and we work really well together, so that's such a blessing and such a small world thing. Half of my job duties as the assistant controller are going to be controller's office duties. I mean, we're approving journal vouchers that happen across campuses, and I'll be helping with the year-end schedules and creating those for the creation of the financial statements. So far, just in my 4 weeks here, I've gotten to help just brainstorm how we're going to implement one of the NACUBO guidances that are going to change the way we calculate scholarships and allowances. So we had meetings with all the campuses, and we're trying to get them all on the same page. And just things like that, where they're going to come to us for like accounting questions. So I'm kind of on that level on the accounting side. Like implementing all these new GASBs will be somewhere in my job realm. But just as things are needed, as the controller needs help with things, I'll be there to help. Also, we had a request come in from the state higher up for the way that they're going to present some information on us as an entity. They needed us to help break out some of the information, and so we were kind of messing with that this week on how the best way to pull those reports from the ERP were going to be, and then to disclose them in a way that makes sense to everybody. So we kind of worked on that this week, which is fun. And the other half of my job is gonna be working with the finance guys. They all say finance. The finance guys down there. I'm really just gonna be helping improve some of the processes going on down there, because everything's being ran fine, but just like when you're thinking as you get more complicated, more investment activity, as we continue to grow, things are going to get more complex. And so I do think it's time for them to have a CPA handle some of the accounting that goes on that side. So that's going to be the other half of my job. So like, you know, reconciling the subledger to the ledger. You know, they make like purchases almost every day. As securities mature, you're going to be booking journal entries for that as the cash comes in. And funny enough, I just wrapped up 4 weeks yesterday, and oh my gosh, I am so tired. It has been a whirlwind. I slept for 13 hours last night. If that tells you at all how tired I am. It's just been so much new stuff. I also have a full, thriving social life outside of work, and that's been really hard. Being new at my job, being at the office almost every day, but then hanging out with people every single day after work. So it's catching up to me, but we're doing all right. It'll get easier. But I just hosted a dinner party on Thursday, and it was so much fun. It was my first dinner party. We have another one on Tuesday. It's gonna have double the amount of people, but I'm so excited. Anyway, side note. So yesterday being week 4, I already am like booking my own journal entries now that I've got a handle on like the daily duties and the daily entries. And because yesterday was the end of the month, it was the last business day of the month in June, then, you know, you have the monthly payroll that we got to pay out for everybody, and it's a really large entity. And then some of the other just monthly expenses. Adding it up together, I literally booked 186 million of journal entries, just moving them out of our cash accounts on the ledger and, you know, paying things off. It's just crazy. It literally feels like you're playing Monopoly with this big of money, but it's exciting. It's fun to see the inner workings of how all this stuff operates. And like any business out there in the world, I'm such a business nerd anyway, but like these humongous companies are moving stuff like this every single day. I mean, it's like millions, billions in some cases. It's wild. So to this point, I really am not sure what my long-term duties are going to be on a day-to-day. I don't think anyone really knows. We've had a couple of like catch-up meetings just to discuss a vision for what my position will entail. But now that we're coming into year end, that's gonna be different than like the rest of the year. So for the next few months, we'll be doing year end duties, wrapping up for the financial statements. Also, the auditors are moving on in. So they moved in this last week, and those are my coworkers, like my old coworkers. So that's just so fun just to see them. And we're all, I mean, I can literally see them because they're in a conference room near us. But so I'm super excited. It's crazy just to see how God has used me through my whole career journey to show you guys on YouTube, to help you guys out as you're making career decisions and as you're wanting to decide what to do in college. challenge. But then like just the fact that I've been auditing this client's like investments for years, and I was frustrated with it the first couple of years because it was super complicated. I had to spend a lot of time doing research, and it was just frustrating because it wasn't easy work. And then as I got a grasp on it, as I'm learning all the people over here, building relationships with them, and then fast forward a few years and I'm now working on the inside of this, I'm just really excited. And they're just, the people that I've been working with so far have been incredible. They are there to help me. They're coaching me up. They're really excited to have me. So some of the differences between these two job roles, one being obvious, that as an auditor, everyone has the same job duties every day. So like somebody can leave and take 2 weeks of vacation and it's not hurt because someone else is just gonna pick up their work, and then this person's gonna leave and this person's gonna pick up their work, because we're all skilled and trained on the same duties. You have one audit program and everyone should be able to do all the audit steps. And this role, just like in any private sector role or any other business job in the world, you have a specialized, specific set of duties. So like if I'm gone, I have to have a backup that's going to be in the office or working that day to make sure that my duties get covered. And also just because I have a specialized role, and my position too is just unique because I am coming in to hopefully just improve some things, but nobody really knows how that's going to work until long term. So I've really been just studying and observing a lot of people's daily duties and just how the behind the scenes works, and then making the daily investment trades and what goes into that, how they're even updating amortization schedules, who's keeping up with that, how they're keeping up with the interest earned and things like that. So it's more freedom of me not necessarily being trained on these things, but like, here's the vision. That's what I was told on day one. Here's what we want to accomplish. Now you go in there and figure out how to accomplish it. And that's kind of, I enjoy that because I'm such a challenge oriented person. I like to, you know, figure things out on my own. I love puzzles, that kind of thing. So that's different versus as an auditor, it's definitely more entry level. It's easily trained because everyone does the same thing, so everyone can help you out. The biggest thing that I love about this current position that I did not love at the state level, we had timesheets that were basically billable hours. So when I interned at a public accounting firm, we had actual billable hours that we billed the client for how long it took to do things. So we don't necessarily bill the clients at the state level, but you still have billable hours in a way. But you'll have like 20 hours to do all of accounts payable, which is great. You should get it done in 20 hours. But what if you have a finding? What if you have extra questions? What if something looks fishy? What if the client isn't giving you what you need and you've had to ask them 17 times? You're gonna end up going over the 20 hours, even though you've done your job well. So I think having those time limits on things, it hurts the innovation factor, the creativity factor, the freedom to just try and improve things. But it also just makes things more stressful. Now, as a seasoned auditor, like the last several years, I haven't been stressed about the budget at all because I have mastered my job and I know I can get things done under budget. So I can also go talk to a coworker about football for an hour and it still have things under budget. But now in my current role, because it's treated more as a true salary job, this one is you work the 40 hours a week and you're just expected to get your job done. The negative aspect of that is when you do work overtime, which will probably be at year end. I'm assuming I will be working over 40 hours as we're getting the schedules and time crunch and get things done for the financial statements. I won't be earning comp time, which is a big benefit that we have at the comptroller's office. I probably way over explain that, but if you can't tell how excited I am to get away from such an intense time budget system, I'm excited to have more freedom and just trusted as an adult to do my job is nice. And the team that I'm working with, they are so close knit and they have such low turnover. Nice group of people who have families, who have lives outside of work. And then working with the finance guys, they're all incredible. They're funny. They have lives outside of work. They're all heavily involved in their kids' lives. Just having respect for the people you're working for makes a big difference. And when you know that you're valued and you're appreciated, but you're also getting good advice from people that you trust with high integrity, it makes a big difference. And that's important for me to just feel like I'm doing purposeful work for the right reason. And I feel like that here. I also felt like that there at the comptroller's office. So all that to say, working in government has been amazing. And I hope that through my channel, you guys are able to see the benefits of working for government. It can get you to go on places. You're not just stuck in a certain small government role. You do have the opportunity to transfer departments or divisions or work for another entity, another state agency. There's a lot of opportunity that comes with state government work. And I am so thankful that God allowed me to work here from day one when I got out of college. Because when I graduated, I had several job interviews at public firms. I had like 11 interviews. I got a handful of offers from them that paid really well, but I just could not get over the fact that they worked over 40 hours a week. I was like, I can't do that. Anyway, I don't want to go on a tangent, but work-life balance is very important for me. Or as the treasurer was telling me the other day, it's life-work balance, because if you're still putting work-life balance first, then work is first. So really life-work balance. Oh guys, I'm excited. I hope that this video made sense. I feel like I rambled in a bunch of different directions, but we'll see where I'm at. I did film a vlog of my first week at this job, so that was what, 4 weeks ago now, 3 weeks ago. So I don't know what is in that video. I don't know if it's gonna be able to be published. I don't know what I said or what I didn't say. I have no idea. That week was such a whirlwind. But that may be on my channel next, so stay tuned for that. I'm excited for this next chapter. We'll see what it entails. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to share on future work vlogs because this is an internal job now, so everything's really confidential on how we do things. Whereas in audit, everything was published, everything was public, it was all taxpayer things, and now we're more confidential. So we'll see how that goes. Really excited what the future holds, and I'm excited to share with you guys. So stay tuned, and I will talk to you guys next time, friends. Bye.